Oh. 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 Sahana bhavatu. Sahanau bhunaktu. Saha viryam karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone. Just to set things in context, we are studying the Narada Bhakti Sutras, the aphorisms on devotion by sage Narada. We have so far covered 6 aphorisms. The first 3 described in general what bhakti was. The next 3 taught us what would be the qualities of a devotee, what would be obtained by the devotee, the benefits of such a devotion. Today, we are going to look at 3 others, which talks about the additional qualities which devotion bestows on, and also the nature of the devotion itself. So we will take a look at that. It's the 7th sutra. Sa na kamayamana nirodha rupatvat. Sa na kamayamana nirodha rupatvat. Sa na kamayamana nirodha rupatvat. In terms of pronunciation, the last word has one aspirated consonant, which is nirodha. The dha in the nirodha is the only aspirated consonant. And so just pay attention to that. Sana kama mana nirodha rupatvat. I have not presented any sandhi splits because there are no sandhi related changes in this sutra. We look at the word to word meaning. Sa. Sa is actually the feminine form of the word tat, that. So that from a feminine perspective is sa. Sa also can be she, a female, but in this case it is that from a feminine perspective. So bhakti is given a feminine form. Sa, I think which we have looked at earlier also. Na kamaya mana. So na is actually not. It is a negation. Kamaya mana means it's a word which says someone who is endowed with or who is in a state, in a particular state. So kamaya mana, just if you without na means a person who is desiring all the time, who is expressing desires at all the times, is kamaya mana. It sort of shows a continuous tendency, a present continuous tendency is shown by the word kamyamana. Okay. Na kamyamana means non-desiring. The one who is always in a state of non-desiring. So that means the person does not have any desire whatsoever. So the bhakti itself is such, you can look at it, the bhakti itself is such, it is non-desiring. So a person who has endowed with devotion will not have any desires. The next word is Nirodha Rupatvat. It gives you the cause, the reason, what makes it become like that is Nirodha Rupatvat. Nirodha means generally control is general meaning, form of control. But it also can means absorption. Nirodha also can mean absorption. So the mind, only when it's absorbed in something, it can be controlled. So it can be taken that way. Rupatvat, so it's fifth vibhakti or the fifth noun form. Rupa is form. Nirodha Rupa means the form of control, you can say. Rupatvat means due to that or from that tendency to control or the tendency of being totally absorbed in the Lord, one becomes desireless. So bhakti is all about absorption in the Lord, and that gives rise to a state of non-desiring. Sana kamyamana nirodha rupatvat. We can read some discourse of Swami on this. The lotus in the heart of man pines for the sun, the splendor of the Lord. But to attain it is hard. Withdrawal of all affection towards the world alone can win it. God is the nearest and dearest entity, but ignorance hides him from the eye. The love that God bears man is unequaled. Yet, he appears to man as a distant, formidable, unapproachable phenomenon. The stars appear as dots of light, for they are at a great distance from us. So too, God appears insignificant or ineffective to many because they are keeping themselves too far from him. If some people say there's no God, it only means they are at too great a distance to be aware of him. A green gourd sinks in water, but a dry one floats. Become dry, rid yourself of attachments, desires, avoid anxieties, worries. Then you can float unaffected on the waters of change and chance. Even water, when it becomes steam, can rise into the sky, become light, lose weight, bail out, so that you may rise higher and higher. Yoga is defined as chitta vritti nirodha, the prevention of impulses that agitate the inner consciousness of man. These impulses add to the ballast. Be free from desires that drag you down. Have only the yearning to come to face with the truth. That truth is shining inside you, waiting to be discovered. Like the dhobi, washerman, in knee-deep water dying of thirst, man too suffers with the panacea in easy grasp. God is the antaryami, indweller, and so, when he is sought in the outer world, he cannot be caught. Love him with no other thought. Feel that without him nothing is worth anything. Feel that he is all. Then you become his and he becomes yours. There's no nearer kinship than that. 50 others may be peeping into the kitchen, hungry and expectant. But if you are the child of the master, you will be served first. The name can light the spark of that love. When two branches of a tree grate on each other hard for some time, enough heat is generated to set the tree on fire. So too, when one name and another rub together quick and hard, spark of jnana, spiritual wisdom, ignites the mind. Jnana agni dagda karmanam. The flames of jnana reduce to ashes the effects of all activities, says the Gita. They do not affect man anymore. Like a rope that has been reduced to ash, it can bind no more. So long as the consequences of karma persists, man is bound to be born to finish the consumption thereof. For the slate of karma has to be wiped clean so that the account of birth and death can be closed with nil balance. Desire is the prompting behind all activity. Desire is the urge. No activity arises in those who have attained all desires, for they rest in the Atma, which has no desire. So there is a discourse which Swami gave in 1966, long time ago. So that sort of it tells, that devotion is an identification with the Atman, which has absolutely no desire. And Swami also says that the one who is desireless alone can attain the Lord. So with that, we'll go to the next sutra. Nirodhastu loka veda vyaparan nyasah. Nirodhastu loka veda vyaparan nyasah. Nirodhastu loka veda vyaparan nyasah. In this sutra also, there's only one word, one letter which is aspirated, which is the in the Nirodha. Okay, so it has to be aspirated. Pay attention. Otherwise, it should be rather simple to read and say. Let's look at the Sandhi split. The Nirodhastu is actually two words, Nirodha and Tu. Nirodha, Tu becomes Nirodhastu because the Visarga after the becomes is. Okay, due to Sandhi, joining. The next word is long samasa. So I have not split it. There are no sandhi, inner sandhi changes, but I have separated the word so that it's easy for you to read as well as to understand the meaning. Loka Veda Vyapara Nyasaha is Loka Veda Vyapara and Nyasaha. Loka Veda Vyapara Nyasaha. So it's actually a four-word compound word. Okay, a compound word consisting of four distinct words. Let's look at the meaning. Nirodha, we have already looked at. It's restraint or control. Restraint or control or absorption in the Lord. That way also you can say. The next word is tu. The word tu, it's a particle which gets many different meanings. And because, or, the type of meaning also it takes. Also, but I have used the word indeed because it's an emphasis is the way I looked at it. What is restraint is it's indeed from what it comes from is Loka Veda Vyapara Nyasa. Loka is world. Okay. So Loka is world. Veda is scriptures, Vedas. even spiritual practice is all Veda. Knowledge itself is Veda. Vyapara is a transaction, a business transaction. Nyasaha means, Nyasa has multiple meanings, but in this case, I would say giving up, renunciation. Okay, that may be a bit more relevant. Maybe I should put that also because I've. Okay. Because sannyasa, the word sannyasa means one who is a renunciant. In a good way, he has done nyasa. Sannyasa is generally considered renunciant. But what is that exact meaning is the person has put everything down. He has left everything. He is not carrying anything. He has put everything in this world down. Sannyasi. But why he has put down? He has actually rested himself on the Lord. Nyasa also means to rest. So, for example, people before doing puja, we do nyasam. That means you, at different parts of the body, you place different deities. We have Mahanyasam, Lagunyasam before Rudram, and Nyasam is a general practice before any worship. You make your body divine. So you place different gods, different divine energies on different parts of the body and mind. So Nyasa is also to keep place something, depositing something. So what has happened, the one who is due to the sensation, control, restraint, he has put everything down. He is not carrying anything of this world in his hands. That's the right meaning. Then you can see what is this vyapara, business transaction. It's loka vyapara. That means the business of the world. Then Veda vyapara, business of knowledge, business of spirituality, business of scripture also. So that means everything is used from a business transaction perspective. The devotee, that kind of tendency has put down. He has given up. Okay, so that control, restraint will make a person give up everything in this world. Okay, so we will I have a long discourse of Swami. I was searching many discourses and I chose this because from our Sai devotees, what is very relevant to us, I think, which is Swami is in very strong terms. He's talking about the business of spirituality and also worldliness. He's covering both. And because of that, I've picked it up. It's a very long one. I hope you bear with me. Every man is endowed with body, mind, intellect, and chitta, the inner instrument. On being questioned by Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada replied, Father, I am neither the body, nor the mind, nor the intellect, nor the inner instrument, or chitta. I am the embodiment of Atma. One will remain like pure butter if one gets rid of ego, does not develop attachment to the body, and does not get deluded by the vagaries of the mind. If the butter is not free from the water of worldly desires, it will start emitting foul smell. As long as there are worldly desires in the mind, one cannot escape from the foul smell. This was the fate of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Even today, there are many who do bhajans and give lectures on spiritual matters, but they are unable to get rid of the foul smell of worldly desires. Until and unless they give up the worldly desires, they cannot attain the state of purity. They are accustomed to a materialistic life. They do bhajans, meditation, etc., with a view to fulfill their worldly aspirations. They can be compared to butter mixed up with water. In the spiritual path, one should not give scope to the foul smell of worldly desires. Some people call themselves devotees but are turning wicked because of their desires. Can such people be called devotees? No, no. If they are really devotees, how could they emit bad odor? Their body, mind, intellect, and also their actions are tainted with impurity. Devotees. Firstly, you should inquire into the reason for the foul smell that is emanating from you. Your mind should remain steady and unwavering through the vicissitudes of life. You should have strong faith. Only then can you lead a peaceful life. Prahlada was subjected to various kinds of punishment, but his faith remained as steady as a rock. His love for God never diminished a bit. He considered love for God as his very life breath. But devotees today stand in stark contrast to Prahlada. Their faith is so shaky that their mind is disturbed by the slightest trouble. They start entertaining doubts and lose their faith altogether. Losing Vishwasa, faith, amounts to losing Swasa, life breath, itself. Come what may, one should continue their sadhana with unflinching faith. This is the sign of true devotion. Devotion does not constitute merely singing bhajans, performing rituals, and chanting the divine name. You should firmly install divinity in your heart. You should take care that the worldly desires find no place in your mind. Burn to ashes all desires completely in the fire of wisdom. Even if a trace of worldliness is left in you, it will multiply manifold and lead you astray. In order to free yourself from bad deeds and bad habits, make sure that you do not have even a shred of desire in you. But due to the impact of Kali age, even devotees are filling their hearts with desires. Desires can be compared to foul-smelling pigs. One cannot stand the stink of a pig even when it is at a distance. Such being the case, how is it that man is giving room to so many pigs in his heart? Embodiments of love. Truly speaking, man is very fortunate, but he is haunted by the misfortune of worldly desires. He is unable to earn the deservedness to get closer to God. He goes through many books and gives lectures, but what's the use? His actions do not match his words. He tries to deceive others with his speeches. In fact, he is deceiving himself. It is enough if he practices at least a fraction of what he preaches. His heart is filled with untruth. His deeds are unrighteous. Hence, he is unable to experience peace. Distance yourself from untruth and unrighteousness. The Vedas exhort man. Satyam vada, dharmam chara. Speak the truth, practice righteousness. Truth is God. If you forget truth, who can protect you? Embodiments of love. You may be performing a number of spiritual practices, but do not feel proud of them. First, purify your heart. Do not give scope for the foul smell of worldly desires. Fill your heart with the fragrance of virtues. Do not pay heed to the words of wicked people whose only job is to poison the minds of others. You do not get much benefit by merely reading books or listening to discourses. First of all, develop Shraddha, steadfastness, and Bhakti, devotion in you. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. With faith, wisdom is born. Embodiments of love. What is the sadhana, spiritual discipline that you are supposed to undertake? Make your hearts pure. Tiruttonda Alvar once said, if one lacks purity of heart, one does not even deserve to chant the divine name of Rama. What is the use of chanting the divine name with a polluted mind? Today, the world is afflicted with all types of pollution. Man's thoughts, words, and deeds are all so polluted. How can such a person develop devotion? Today, people are wearing the mask of bhakti, devotion, and trying to cheat others. Do not deceive others, help ever, hurt never. This is the essence of the 18 Puranas. Deceiving others amounts to deceiving yourself. In the world, the so-called devotees have increased in numbers. Now I feel the time is ripe to tell you a few important things. The feelings that spring in your heart must be as pure as the waters of the Ganges river, where it springs. Words do not suffice. What is needed is action. There should be unity of thought, word, and deed. He is a wicked person whose thoughts, words, and deeds are at variance. The proper study of mankind is man. Today we find unity of thought, word, and deed only in acts of untruth, unrighteousness, and violence. Man who is supposed to have noble thoughts and perform meritorious deeds is doing just the opposite. Some people are doing business in the name of Sai. They are cheating others, pretending to be devotees of Sai. I do not approve of such behavior. They are not devotees at all. They are going to different parts of the country and also abroad to make money in the name of Sai. It is a big crime. I do not ask for even a single paisa from others. I never approve of such business. Whoever it may be, if somebody approaches you with such a crass motive, tell him to get out at once. Do not allow business to enter the field of spirituality. One may do what one likes for the maintenance of one's family, but nobody should do business using Sai's name. Unfortunately, such activity is on the increase. In many villages, we find people misusing the name of Sai for their selfish gains. This is happening even in many other countries like America, England, Japan, Germany, Singapore, and Malaysia. Do not associate yourself with such wicked people. Keep your hearts pure and sacred, otherwise you are equal to a living corpse. Such people should not be respected. Better that you perform their obituary rites. You should pray to God with sacred feelings. When you entertain worldly desires, you will be moving away from divinity. Embodiments of love. You are coming here with all devotion and sincerity. Do not get deceived by people who do business in the name of devotion. In many places, we find people indulging in such mean practices. Maintain safe distance from them. Tyaja durjana samsargam, bhaja sadhu samagamam, kuru punyam ahoratram. Run away from bad company, join good company, and perform meritorious deeds day and night. You may even live in the company of snakes, but you should not tolerate the company of such evil-minded people. We are undertaking so many social welfare activities, but I have never asked anyone even for a paisa. You are all aware of this. I do not involve myself in money matters, but people today consider money as God. How can such people be called devotees? Sairam Kanagesanti.
Sai Ramarano. I think it's page 2. We have Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu. Are they two different people?
Yes, they are brothers.
They are brothers. Thank you.
So Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu was the father of Prahlada.
Yes.
His brother is Hiranyakshipu. Hiranyaksha,
Uh,
he is supposed to have, hidden the world, and the Lord took birth as Varaha, took Varaha avatar and killed him.
oh,
So
thank
that
you very much.
yes, Hiranyaksha means his eye is gold. Means he is only looking for the world to make money.
Is Isa?
Eyes, Aksha means eyes.
Oh, oh.
Hiranyaksha means always he's looking at money. Yeah, so, well, yes, Sister Aruna, you have to unmute.
Sorry about that. Brother, is the discourse date is right, brother?
Yes, 2002, brother. 2002, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank
It's
you.
okay. Thank you.
Good, yes. I think it's 2002. I will check it once again. I think it's 2002. Um, uh, and correct it if necessary. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. That's okay.
I should check it right away. Now that you've asked, I should check. 1 second. Give me a minute, everyone. I will check. It's important, you get to know the right date of the discourse. 2002, July 22nd. Yes, that's yes, it is 2002, July 22nd. Thanks for pointing out, sister. I will fix it. Okay, sorry. Good. So it's the same discourse, actually. It's a long one. I took 2 sections. Bear with me. Bhagavan does not require any shrines. Bhagavan is not interested in real estate. All that Bhagavan wants is for you to serve society with bliss and without selfishness. If the elders do not want to accept your suggestion, disregard it. That is their fate. You, the youth, make a sincere effort. Help the helpless, feed the hungry. Do not go about seeking other people's help. If any help is needed, come to me. Bhagavan shall provide without hesitation. Do not collect a single paisa as donation. There are those who donate 100 rupees and make 1,000 rupees worth of self-glorification out of it. Bhagavan is not interested in such activities. When Bhagavan is standing by your side like a mountain, why should you seek any assistance from anybody? Do not subserve anybody. They will merely preach high philosophy, which is vainglorious. It is not only in India that such a situation prevails, all over the world. It's the same whether you go to England, Japan, or Germany. It's the same sort of business that's going on. From everywhere, it's the same kind of news of such transactions. Bhagavan receives a lot of such information. I feel all this is as nuisance. This is not the kind of information that Bhagavan wants to hear. What Bhagavan desires most is to hear that all are well and are enjoying happiness and bliss. Marketing with Bhagavan's name is highly disgusting and distressful. There can be no commerce in matters of devotion. Even the salty ocean may yield drinkable water, but this kind of devotion is worthless. It is already late. Bhagavan never solicits donations from anybody, nor he has agents for propagating his message. I do not have any association whatsoever with these deceitful persons. Bhagavan needs no material wealth. The only need of Bhagavan is genuine love. Give love and take back love. That is the only exchange. With that love, fulfill your life. There's no devotion greater than love. Any little service performed with love is enough. If you give a glass of water to a thirsty person with genuine love, it is more than enough. Almost 90% of the so-called devotees are in fact deceitful. Earlier it was quite different. Devotees were few, but they were genuine devotees. Nowadays, there are too many self-seeking cheats masquerading as devotees. First thing in the morning, they adorn their forehead with vibhuti, holy ash, wrap a scarf around their neck, and roam about freely in the guise of devotees. Even the stray dogs scrounging around for something to eat are better than such fake devotees. Embodiments of love. Develop love in you. Bhagavan needs no temples or rest houses. The temple of your heart is more than enough. Bhagavan shall stay happily therein. The news that I get from those so-called temples is highly distressing to me. The amount of anguish that I undergo because of this is beyond your imagination. Do not do bad acts in the name of God. If you're unable to do good, at least keep quiet and stay out. There's no need for you to make all kinds of wild promises. Enjoy the bliss of divinity in silence and love. Since people from all over the globe are assembled here, I've had to say these harsh words. Do not have any dealings with people who are doing commercial transactions in the name of Sai. Send them packing with a namaskar. If you need anything, ask me. I have never deceived or let down anybody, nor will I ever do so. Untruth will not be uttered by me. My wish is that no such undesirable act should be perpetrated on any of the genuine devotees. Earlier, when I visited Mumbai, I used to find people doing bhajans and Nagar Sankirtan all over, unmindful of place or time, even including the airport. Today, you can hardly see anyone even chanting the name of God in public anywhere. Of course, there are quite a few devotees, but they are shy of engaging in namasmarana, repetition of the divine name. Earlier on, I have been traveling around various cities like Chennai, Mumbai, Hyderabad, etc. But these days, I have no inclination to go anywhere. All these places have become overcrowded with such wicked people. It is of foremost importance for us to get rid of them and encourage the godly minded people. Again, I will change the date. It's 2002. So, it's a very harsh discourse of Swami. But, he's talking about business transactions, even doing transactions with the desires, worldly desires with God is something which Swami has spoken about. And also people in the name of spirituality doing business, charging money, or, doing things which they are earning their livelihood with the name of Sai as their messengers were spreading Swami's message. So I thought it's very appropriate that, if anyone is making money or saying that they are bringing the message of Swami for earning money, we should be wary of them. That's what Swami has said. So real bhakti does not have business of the world or business of the Vedas. Because why I thought it's important is because sometimes there are many people, offering you register for a fee and go and attend the course, even in spirituality. And, we sometimes think that is spirituality. They are also saying good things. That we should understand that Swami says, whatever you gain from such businessmen is of no use because they themselves don't have devotion. For them, money is God. Then there are people with, YouTube channels where they're making money by, talking about Swami. That is today prevalent, and sometimes people spend time listening to such people and thinking that their devotion is growing. Swami is very, very particular. He says, come to me if necessary. So I thought it was very pertinent that we should not mistake devotion for any business transactions because it should not be tainted with business motive. And we should not be cheated by that. So I will stop there and I will go to the next sutra. Tasmin ananyata, tad virodishu dasinata cha. Tasmin ananyata, tad virodishu dasinata cha. Tasmin ananyata, tad virodishu dasinata cha. In this, in terms of pronunciation, the dhi has come again, which is the dha, which is the fourth letter in the tha varga consonants, or third class of consonants, which has to be aspirated. Virodhi. Okay, Virodhi. The next word is shu. That's a cerebral sha, so the tip of the tongue, if it points up, Virodhishu dasinata. Okay, those are two letters to pay a little attention. Let's look at the sandhi split. Tasmin ananyata is composed of two distinct words, tasmin and ananyata. Becomes tasmin ananyata. As you can see, then an extra na also comes there. Two ends come. Okay, you can see these two ends. One end becomes two because of that sandhi. But it's tasmin and ananyata. Tad virodishu udasinata. There are three words. Tat virodishu udasinata. I think I should, I'm just going to put a dash here. Okay, just we can discuss that. I should have put that. Tat virodhishu udasinata. Okay. Tat virodhishu. That's a sandhi. Because of that, it becomes id. The ta becomes the because of sandhi. So ta is the first letter in the ta varga, and the is the third letter in the ta varga. So generally, the first and two becomes the third because of sandhi. Okay, so that's how tat virodishu becomes tad virodishu. Udasinata. Let's look at the word-to-word meaning. Tasmin. Tasmin is the seventh vibhakti, or seventh class of seventh noun class of the word tat. That means tasmin. In that, or on that, about that. Multiple meanings can be there, but in this case, we can say in that. So in that means, what is that? In this devotion. In this devotion, ananyata. Ananyata means ananyata means none otherness. Anya means other. Anya is other or something foreign. Okay, other or foreign, but in this case, other. Ananya means none, no other or none other. So there's nothing else. Ananya Bhakti we have already discussed, I think, in many places. Ananya means not having a devotion for anything else. So it's only single pointed. The Ananyata, the ta basically gives that state, that ness, that. So that's why I called it none otherness or one pointedness. So we are not distracted by anything else. So in that bhakti, in that devotion, one becomes none otherness. I think last week also we were looking at this, where Swami is saying, you one pointed, you have only one Swami, one name, one form. That's the way the devotion should be. Because if you're looking for some other Swami, some other message, that means you're distracted because you think you're not one pointed. And because that will not result. So, but the real bhakti means Ananyata, single-pointed devotion, one-pointed devotion, Ananyata. Tat virodishu. Tat is that, virodishu means virodha is opposition or enmity, so animosity, all that is virodha. So virodhishu is plural, actually, in enmities, and I should put I should put oppositions. Okay, so in this way, tat virodhishu, that enmities means actually this is a samasa. Okay. So in the samasa, this tat actually means tasya, his. Okay. On that, that multiple meanings you can give it. So that means any opposition to that in this. So if there is devotion, and if there's anyone opposing that, anyone calling it wrong, okay, if that everyone encounters such situation where one devotion is questioned, opposed by others. Udasinata. Udasina means to be indifferent to that. That state of indifference is udasinata. Udasina means to be indifferent, not caring, being indifferent to that, So udasinata is that state of indifference. So what it basically is, one should be one-pointed, that bhakti will be so one-pointed, and so many people may oppose that person will be unaffected by it, will be indifferent to it. So these are nature of that bhakti. We will see some of the excerpts, I think, of Swami. The human body is affected by the impurities connected with the three humors present in the body. Vata or wind, Pitta or bilious humor, and Shleshma or phlegm. So also the subtle body represented by the mind is tainted by mala or impure, evil thoughts and tendencies. Vikshepa or projection of the unreal as the real, and avarana or concealment of the real. As a result of this threefold impurity of the mind, man is unable to attain divine knowledge. So long as his mind has these stains, he cannot gain the knowledge of the Atma. Mala can be got rid of by means of sacred work, while Vikshepa can be removed by worship and Avarana by wisdom. The Gita teaches us that by good and sacred work, we can purify hearts. That by worship, we can attain one-pointedness of the mind. And that by wisdom, we can remove the veil of ignorance and attain union with God. So, thus, by work, worship, and wisdom, man can become divine. However, according to the Gita, all these three, that is to say, purification of the mind, one-pointedness of the mind, and unitive knowledge of the Godhead, can also be attained by the practice of yoga. Yoga also means samatva, or equal-mindedness. Samatvam yoga muchyate. Having regard to the environment in which the ordinary man is placed, and to his duties, both secular and spiritual, samatva has been found applicable in 5 different ways. We accordingly cognize samatvam in relation to prakriti or nature, samaja or society, jnana or knowledge, karma or action, upasana or worship. Prakritika samatva is equanimity in relation to prakriti or the various natural phenomena. In cold seasons, warmth gives us comfort, while in hot season, coldness gives us joy. This way, both heat and cold at one time or other give us happiness. Neither subjects us to misery. At times, however, due to the varying intensities of heat and cold, we might be put to some inconvenience. But then these are only subjective and superficial experiences rather than universally applicable realities. Essentially, both heat and cold give us happiness. In the same manner, pleasure and pain also bring happiness to us. Without pain, one cannot appreciate the true value of pleasure. It is only in the light of sorrow that joy assumes greater prominence. Thus, pleasure and pain, or happiness and misery, should be looked upon with an unruffled mind and with the same sense of detachment. It is very necessary for us to develop prakritika samatva. This is especially so for students who tend to be impulsive and let success and failure influence them easily and profoundly. To be impulsive is a sign of human weakness. Everyone should recognize the truth that pleasure is but an interval between two pains and face the trials and tribulations of the world in a calm and collected manner. The alternating experiences of pleasure and pain actually prod us along the path of righteousness. Samajika samatvam, or equanimity, which man as an integral part of society should possess, comes next. Society too subjects man to the dual experience of joy and sorrow. For instance, both praise and blame come to a man from the society in which he lives. Praise and blame are like the two faces of the same coin, and they always haunt each other. We should be perturbed by neither. We should regard both adulation and censure as stepping stones to progress. When a well is being dug, the earth that is removed from the pit forms a mound by the side. The mud in the mound is the same mud that was in the pit. Praise and calumny are like the mound and the pit and are essentially of the same origin. Realizing this, the mind should be trained to develop equanimity in terms of man's relationship with and existence in society. Jnana samatva is the third type of equanimity, which we should try to promote in us. This basically consists in recognizing the identity of the Atma that permeates all beings, irrespective of caste, color, or creed. Religions may be different, but all of them lead man to the same goal, God. Garments may be different, but the fabric is the same. Ornaments may be various, but the gold is the same. Cows may be different hues, but the milk is one. The electric bulbs may have varying wattage, sizes, and colors, but the electricity that lights them is the same. Similarly, the jivas and the animals are myriad and multiple, but the life force in all of them is essentially the same. The realization of this unitive aspect of creation is jnana samatva. The performance of right and sacred actions in a detached manner, without being ruffled by their consequences, either good or bad, is the spirit of karma samatva, or equanimity in action. And bhakti samatva, equanimity in devotion, consists in the realization of the truth that Ishvara pervades the entire universe and that he is everything, that refuge for all. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva is the cry of the person who endowed with equanimity in devotion. It's only when his bhakti, devotion, is constant, enduring, and unwavering that the devotee can attain bhakti samatva. The flow of love for God should always remain the same and be steady. Krishna declared in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiktanam yogakshema vahamyaha. I shall look after the material welfare and spiritual well-being of those who worship me through one-pointed devotion and are ever attached to me. This Ananya Bhakti or one-pointed devotion comes as a result of the 5 kinds of samatva, equanimity. Samatva should be steadfastly maintained and promoted at all times, at all places, and in all climes. I have one more excerpt. It's a short one. We'll take a look at that. The Lord has only one head office, that is the heart. All other places like Kailasha, Vaikunta, etc., only branch offices. Krishna did not present himself immediately in front of Draupadi when she prayed to him in her hour of plight. She called the Lord Dwarakavasa, dweller of Dwaraka, Madhurapuravasa, dweller of the city of Mathura, etc. But Krishna did not appear. Totally tired, she at last said, Hridayavasi, indweller of the heart. And Krishna appeared immediately and came to her rescue. Many days later, Draupadi asked Krishna, "Oh brother, why did you not come to me in my hour of humiliation when I called out to you?" To this, Krishna replied, "You addressed me as Dwarakavasa. Since I am duty bound to prove the truth of my devotees' words, I had to go to Dwaraka and then come back all the way. But I presented myself in front of you as soon as you called me Hridaya Vasi." This incident substantiates the fact that the Lord is a resident of the heart. The Lord is nearer to you than your parents, friends, kith, and kin. We should not be affected by praise and blame, censure and appreciation, gain and loss. Chaitanya was abused wildly by people, but Chaitanya danced in ecstasy even then. When someone questioned him why he danced in joy in spite of the foul abuses, he said, "The foul abuse of the people does not reach me at all. It melts into thin air. That's why I dance in joy." Once Uddhava said to the Gopikas, "Oh damsels, people criticize you. They say that you are infatuated with Krishna and run after him, disregarding the commands of husbands, mother-in-laws, and fathers-in-law." To this the Gopikas replied, "Does the cuckoo stop singing simply because the crows are cawing?" We are not afraid of anybody in the world. Since we sing the name of the Lord heartily like the cuckoos, what do the swans lose when the cranes make fun of them? When dogs bark at the sight of elephant, the elephant loses nothing. Why should we fear when we yearn for the Lord? We should be afraid when we crave for the world. Hence, we should not be afraid of the blame and censure hurled by people. This is a discourse Swami gave in 1993. So those are the excerpts, where how Swami, we had to be udasina, we had to be indifferent to anything, any virodha, enmity. And we should be having ananyata, one-pointedness. So that's what the ninth sutra which we read says. I hope the excerpts were okay and it was helpful. I'll stop here. If there are any questions and if I have an answer, I will share. Saira. I guess there being none, we will close. I think Sakku auntie.
Yes, Sai Ram.
I don't.
I just want to know the meaning of ballast. Ballast.
Swami is talking about a gourd which sinks. When it is filled with water content, it fills. Okay, then their attachment. So rid yourself of attachment, desires, and anxieties and worries. They sort of weigh you down. So you can even say ballast is something which weighs you down. Okay, I was just looking up the dictionary. See, heavy materials such as gravel, sand, iron, or lead placed low in a vessel to improve its stability. But in this case, Swami's use, I don't know, the translation is ballast, but it's basically something which weighs you down. Get rid of that so you can be light and free and you can soar high. That's what Swami says.
Okay.
I hope.
Thank you.
Sai. Okay, I think if there's no other question, I will close the session with Samastaloka prayers. Please. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.